It's telling me that we are live. Hello and welcome to the MMA Live Chat Show. I'm Rich Davie and it's Friday, October 3rd, 2014. On today's show, we'll be discussing the TUF 20 Episode 4 show and recapping the Carla Esparza versus Angela Hill fight. On today's show, we have yours truly and Damon Gazelle. Thanks for joining me on the show, buddy. Let's go ahead and talk about the TUF 20 Episode 4 show and the fight between Carla Esparza and Angela Hill. Go ahead and say hello to anybody that might be listening, my friend.
How's it going, Rich? How's it going, everybody that might be watching? Or will watch?
Going pretty good, buddy. Okay, so it looks like on the opening of the show there, Anthony Pettis had a previous meeting scheduled and he had to take some time off. So Uriah Faber wound up showing up as the head coach for this episode here. I don't know how long he'll be the head coach. I know it's for 1 or 2 episodes, but in any event, Uriah Faber came in. It seems like the ladies all had a bit of a crush on him. So Uriah Faber stepped up to fill in for Anthony Pettis. It looks like Faber had a liking for Joanne Calderwood there. I don't know if you saw that on the show, my friend there, but he seemed to have a liking for her, and he was telling her that she sounded like Braveheart.
Like Braveheart?
Yeah.
Nah, I must have missed that part.
Yeah, he says to her, wow, you sound like Braveheart. You have such a sweet voice, but you're so mean.
I wouldn't think of Braveheart having a sweet voice. I mean, I guess if you like Mel Gibson or something.
Yeah, well, she's so soft-spoken, Joanne Calderwood, and again, like you look at some of these ladies, and it's hard to believe that they're the beasts that they are in the octagon, or when they're fighting, wherever they may be fighting. But Joanne Calderwood's definitely one of those, and we could see, from Carla Esparza's fight last night that she also, again, she was another fighter who was off for a long time. I don't know if you saw the. I think they call it TUF Talk on Fox Sports 1 after the TUF show is over. And she was talking about how she had all kinds of problems because she was the champion over at the Invicta FC. And she had to sit out a while for that once, it was made known that she was going to be coming to the UFC. And she had to sit out for, I think it was like 1.5 years. So she hadn't fought for 1.5 years before this fight here. So she was a bit worried. I don't know if you saw any of that stuff there, but she was.
I didn't see that, but I knew she had been out for some time. Didn't look like it.
Yeah, like I said, she was out for a while there. She was kind of worried, and that as I was watching that, I'm like, well, I was finding it hard to believe, but again, maybe also had something to do because Carla also mentioned the fact that. Angela Hill looked like a pretty tough opponent, and I don't think she thought she should be ranked number 16 either, like most people don't think.
I think that has to do a lot, though, with she only had one MMA fight.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, but she had a lot of Muay Thai fights, so and she was undefeated. She never lost.
Yeah, but that's Muay Thai. That's not MMA.
No, I'm just saying, mentally she never lost a fight, so, she... I'm sure in her head she was planning on coming in and just, maybe not going right through Carla Esparza, but, she didn't expect what transpired in that fight there.
That's kind of like the boxing versus MMA debate. I mean, they're so different. I mean, you can be really good at one thing, but when you have to mix it all together, it can throw somebody off bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know exactly what her record was, but I think it was something like she had 14 fights in Muay Thai. I don't recall exactly what her record is, but in any event, she was undefeated coming into this. So she had never tasted defeat before, and I'm sure she wasn't expecting to taste defeat in the fight with Carla as well. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny the way that Carla was so upset and nervous. I don't know if that was a front and she was, just playing up for the camera there in regard to that, but. Also on the show, I don't know if you noticed, but during the show, Justine Kish was having some knee problems there, and it looked to be pretty severe there. And the teaser at the end of the show, they were saying that one fighter is not going to be able to continue, and that one of the other girls is going to be coming back. I don't know who that's going to be, more than likely because they favored her so highly in the seeding or the rankings, however you want to term that. It's probably going to be Tisha Torres who they're going to invite back, but I would love to see Angel Hill, come back and maybe fight somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, Tisha Torres, I mean, would be a good person to bring back just because I think the initial first fight for the season can definitely uh, mess with people. You are the first fight, and she looked good at first, but other than that, you know, she didn't look that great. So, and that could be that stamina dump that happens.
Yeah, she was also saying that after the fight, she wasn't saying before the fight, but after the fight, Tisha Torres was saying that she had an injury, which is why she didn't do it as well. But I kind of, I don't know if that's true or not, but, just looking at the way that round 2 went in that fight with Randa Marcos, Randa Marcos put it on her in round 2, and I think that just kind of fucked with her mentally.
Mm-hmm. Eddie's saying Hill is 14-0 in her Muay Thai fights and with 4 KOs.
Oh, thanks, Ed. If he's got time, he's more than happy. I mean, more than welcome to join us there.
Hey, Eddie, yeah, Eddie, I'll send you the link in a DM on Twitter if you want to join in.
Yeah, and it looks like not only Justine Kish was having a problem there. Apparently, I guess Heather Clark is also having an issue as well. Again, some of the drama in that show had to do with Heather Clark. The girls just do not like her. Heather Clark didn't really train fully in that episode there, and the girls were kind of pissed off because she was not going all out and training with the other girls, and then what she did was 5 minutes before the other girls had finished training, she sat in the ice bath, and that seemed to piss off a couple of fighters there. I believe it was Angela Magana, and she is just really not a fan of Heather Clark.
Yeah, Heather. She towards the end of the show when she was after she did the face off with Felice, she said that she's got a bachelor's in theater, and I was like, on Twitter I posted bachelor's in theater, master's in drama. She does seem to be the one that is creating more of a spectacle, and you see a lot of people giving Felice shit about it, the way she's been, but Heather's just been more of a bitch. To say no offense to her personally, but the way she's coming off, that's the way it seems like. But the cameras do catch certain things. But I've seen a show before TUF even started where most of the girls were all in agreement that Heather was like that pretty much throughout the entire filming, and that they didn't like her.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, like you said there, because so many people give Felice Herod bullshit for promoting herself the way that she does, but that's how she makes her living, by promoting herself.
Yeah.
But I don't think Felice is anything near what people make her out to be. I mean, I don't see her as the drama queen. She's good-hearted, genuine person. She seems to have fun doing what she's doing, and it just seems like that Heather Jo Clark just has an issue with everybody. So it can't be everybody is wrong.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people think she's a drama queen, Felice. I think they think that she actually is an attention seeker. More so.
There's no doubt about that.
But that's like they were talking about how Conor McGregor made more in this pay-per-view than than Donald Cerrone did, and Donald Cerrone was, I guess he promotes himself better. And, you know, that's kind of true, you know.
Well, they actually had Lorenzo Fertitta on that Tough Talk show that I was telling you about, I believe, and he actually spoke about it. I don't know if it was Tough Talk or UFC Tonight. I can't remember what show it was that he was on, but he came in and specifically said, well, when you got somebody like Conor McGregor who can, well, we're getting off topic here, but you know, when you got somebody like Conor McGregor who can promote himself like that, he definitely deserves to earn more because he sells pay-per-views. And you know, they were crediting him with, you know, selling, you know, pay-per-views. He said something like, when they go over to the UK and they put on events and Conor McGregor is on the card, they get a 60% share of the market at the time when, you know, they're over there. So you know, can't blame them for that. So
yeah, and you can't blame fighters for wanting to promote themselves. And if Felice, you know, Felice is good at it. She's been doing it for a while. I think the girls need to not be so jealous of it and start self-promoting themselves.
yeah, take a note from Felice and, you know, follow her lead there and promote yourself as well.
Yeah. Don't worry about what Felice is doing. Worry about what you're doing and try and get people like you.
Okay, well, we were stalling a little bit here, trying to wait for the other guys to show up. We had two other guys that wanted to show up and be on the show, so I guess they are not going to be joining us here, so we're going to go ahead and move on without them here. All right, let's talk about the fight here. Man, oh man, Carla looked damn good. It was kind of reminiscent of the Dominic Cruz return. She did not look like she missed a beat. She came in and she looked strong. She was a bit hesitant at first, but both of them were, you know, right off the bat. I actually expected Angela to be a little bit more aggressive with the way that she was, you know, speaking about the fight and what she was expecting. You know, I thought she would take advantage of her height and reach advantage. I thought she would be throwing some of those vicious kicks. I wasn't expecting her to throw as many punches as she did, and the punches that she was throwing, you know, she threw a couple of solid ones, but, you know, they weren't really, you know, punches that were with bad intentions behind them. But I was actually expecting a lot more legs from her, you know, trying to strike maybe not at the body, but at the lower legs of Carla Esparza there. But she threw one leg, and it was about mid-body on Carla. Carla grabbed that leg, took her down. You know, she got back up for a brief time, and then, yeah, it just, you know, she was struggling. I mean, she did, you know, fairly well for somebody who isn't really known for her ground game, you know, and her ground defense. But yeah, it was tough. I felt bad for her there because she really didn't get to employ her game there.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, that Muay Thai and then switching over to MMA. I mean, that she has the one win in MMA, but you know, when you're primarily coming from a striking sport like Muay Thai into MMA, where you have to actually worry about the takedown as well, it can mess with your game. She's going to have to get used to that.
Yeah, yeah, she clearly needs, because I don't know how many knockouts she has, and maybe Eddie mentioned that to you specifically.
4. She had 4 KOs in her Muay Thai fights.
Yeah, and then I believe her MMA fight was also a knockout or a TKO. So I know that the fact that she is a heavy-handed striker got into the head a little bit of Carla Esparza, because she actually mentioned, you know, the fact that she can hit hard. Angela can hit hard. But I think maybe Angela was relying on that a little bit more than it bothered Carla, because, you know, like I said, initially both of them seemed to be a little hesitant. You know, took them a minute or so to feel each other out, and then once it got going there, you know, Carla was definitely looking. Carla shot one time and missed a takedown, but there was nothing Angela could do to capitalize on that. But
how's it going, Eddie?
Oh, we got Eddie with us. Eddie, can you hear us?
I don't think you can.
No, it's a static picture. All right, so let me hear your comments while we're waiting for Eddie.
Yeah, Carla Esparza, I mean, she looked great. I mean, she looked like she won the entire thing. you know, of course she had nerves from not fighting for a while, but you know, once she employed her game plan, she pretty much just dominated Angela Hill and it made it look pretty easy. And you know, I was watching Twitter, the comments on Twitter, and pretty much a lot of everybody else on there thought the same thing. Was like, wow, this we might be looking at the tough winner, the next champ
Yeah,
for
I
the
would have to.
strawweight division.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, from what we've seen so far in the 4 fights, um, Carla Esparza clearly showed that she's got the most so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's definitely got some skill. You know that she showed it. Once she got her head right and just got into the game, you know, she looked amazing.
Yeah, like I said, he's having a hard time trying to get his equipment to work there. He actually does another show, and he uses a different setup. So I know when he makes the transition from his show to our show, he has a problem with the settings on the computer.
Hmm.
Yeah. Again, for people who don't know, Carla actually won by rear naked choke in round one. I don't recall exactly what the time was, but I think there was maybe like a minute and a half left in the round. But Angela Hill, she didn't do too bad on the ground there. I mean, she struggled, and I mean, she was in some, pretty tight situations. Carla almost had the rear naked choke a couple of times, but when Angela wound up getting up on her feet after maybe the second or third time where she was down on the ground, Carla wasted no time. She jumped up on her back, took her back, and instantaneously got her elbow under the chin, and that was all she wrote. Because once she got her elbow under the chin, she just locked up that rear naked choke, and you could see that Angela did not want to tap out, but she really had no choice because she was either going to tap out or you know
Go
get
to
choked,
sleep.
get choked out. Period. So unfortunate for Angela. We were hoping that you would do better. I know Fred and I both picked Angela to win there. Initially on the pre-fight show that I did, I was picking Carla Esparza to win it, but I went back and I looked at the footage again from the Muay Thai fights, and then I looked at the face-off that they had between each other, and I was looking, and she just looked so much stronger. She was a lot bigger, and I was like, damn, that's got to play into the deciding factor here. But it just wasn't enough. As soon as she concentrates a little bit more on the ground game and her defense, um, her ground defense there, I think she's going to do a lot better. And I even think she's going to do a lot better than where she's ranked right now, because I do think there are some women in that division as it stands right now that she'll have no problem getting wins over.
Yeah,
Hey,
if she um feels comfortable with her takedown defense, that's definitely going to open up her striking in MMA. And if she can get that down, she'll be a beast. You know, she's got great striking, but you've got to be able to defend that takedown. If you can defend the takedown, you can open up your striking and make your game plan work.
you hey, I see you're with us. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know. My computer did some weird thing where you guys were talking and it looped like 5 seconds over and over and over again. So I had to like restart this shit. But I'm good to go. What's up?
All right, so what did you think about that? Not too much about what went on in the house, but specifically about the fight. How Carla Esparza performed, and what did you think about Angela Hill?
I don't know if it was the editing or if it was Angela herself that kind of gave this hype that, or even Carlos might be at fault for it, of giving this hype that well, maybe Carla could be beaten, maybe Angie's gonna come in and knock her out and upset her. I didn't think that was gonna happen. I've watched Carla fight before. For lack of better terms, I knew Angie had no shot at all. I mean, yeah, I understand the one-hit KOs and all that. A puncher always has his chance and whatnot, but as far as just a dominant chick, I mean, she was like, I'm so nervous, I don't know what I'm gonna do, the rust, all this stuff, and then she got in the cage, and you saw a completely different animal. She came out like Angie owed her money. and just beat the crap out of her.
Yeah, I know, because I was also, looking at that too about how she was so worried, and not only did she say she was worried because she was off for so long, she also kept saying about she was worried about the power that, Angela had as well. So yeah, that was one of the factors that made me say, wow, maybe she does have a chance.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love the Muay Thai fighter, especially like a taller, chick like the way Angie or the way Hill is. But I just didn't think lack of experience, man. Experience is huge. Any sport you go to, let's say you're talking NBA teams, like who just played Spurs in Miami or Spurs and Heat. The Spurs won just off of so much experience that they have put together on a team. And you can transfer that to boxing and into MMA. Not as well because you're not going to get knocked out on the basketball court. But Esparza is super experienced compared to Hill, and ultimately I think that's what happened. Is Esparza went back into her experience, what she knows how to do best, and just whoop that ass, man.
Yeah, she took one or two shots from Angela, but. Yeah, she didn't seem too fazed by it. She seemed a little hesitant when she ate that one hard right shot.
Yeah.
But she came back pretty much right away, knowing that okay, I need to get this girl to the ground and get this over with ASAP.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even if you look at Carla's last 4 fights, out of the last 4, 2 of them are decisions against Felice and Beck, and the other 2 are TKO wins in the first and second round against Lynn Alvarez and Sarah Schneider at the Invicta organization. So, I never doubted her for a second. I mean, who was I rooting for? Angie, for sure. I mean, I wanted to see that, that go down big time. I want to see a one-hit KO. You rarely see that with the women, but, if you asked me to bet money, I'd have put all my money on Carla, no problem.
Oh yeah, if it came to betting the ranch, I think everybody would have gone with Carla.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so from the 4 fights that we've seen so far, I'm sure you've seen all of them. From the 4 fights we've seen so far, Carla clearly, in my opinion, has shown us the most, and it looks to me, from what we've seen so far, she's definitely the favorite to win the season and the belt.
Yeah, I would say so. At the very beginning of the season, I was thinking it was going to be between Tisha Torres and, in my opinion, Thug Rose Namajunas. But, Tisha obviously losing the first fight. And I still think she won that fight, but that's just me. But, as far as it shows, she showed just, look, she put everyone on notice, man. I mean, you saw everyone's face. Even her own teammates were kind of like, yeah, oh, shit. Damn, like they had that. Oh, it's awesome right now. But in a couple
shit, I gotta go up against her.
I gotta fight her in a little while. Like, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, that's the crazy thing about the season is that it's almost like there really aren't any teams because they're all gonna fight each other for a belt. I mean, they're in the UFC. They're UFC fighters. They'll fight again. Later on, even if you lose, we'll see Tisha again and Angie and all them. But you just watch a chick beat the crap out of another girl, and you gotta think, oh shit, am I gonna be the one that has to face her next? Or, is she gonna have to do it? So she put everyone on notice, big time.
Yeah, like I was telling Damon before you joined us here, it was kind of reminiscent of the Dominic Cruz return because she was out for a year and a half. She had to sit out for a while for a number of reasons. And then she came back, and again, it looked like she didn't miss a beat there. I mean, other than the slow start, for the first minute or so, they were both kind of hesitant, looking to feel each other out. But man, after that first minute, she looked like she didn't miss a beat.
Absolutely, no, she was good to go, straight up.
All right, so I don't know if you also saw that there's one fighter, and they didn't say who it was, but I'm going to guess more than likely it's Justine Kish. She's got a knee problem, and it looked to be pretty severe. They were showing that during the show. The teaser for next week's episode was that one of the girls are going to have to leave the competition, and one of the girls who already was eliminated is going to be coming back. From the performances that we've seen so far, more than likely it's going to be Tisha Torres. What do you think?
Absolutely. Hell yeah, Tisha Torres. Why wouldn't you bring her back? That girl was so... I mean, it's almost like if you watched obviously the first episode and the first fight, she came out with the attitude of I'm gonna fuck somebody up, and then once she got in there, she was like, oh shit, I'm in here now. You know, like so she, I mean, yeah, nerves. Obviously, she wasn't fighting a dud. She was fighting a good fighter, but hell yeah, bring her back. Bring her back. You know, now she's got a little more confidence in her. She's been training and all that. I think you bring her back.
Yeah, like I said, I think she had a stamina dump in the first, and that really, you know, is what led to her losing. You know, she looked good in the first, and just, you know, that first fight for the season, you know, first UFC fight, and, you know, that happens to a lot of people.
You really think that's what it was? You don't think the beatdown that Randa Marcos put on her in round 2 there, where she was fucking throwing those vicious elbows and that ground?
No, she was doing some vicious elbows and stuff. But if you have a stamina dump, there's not much you can do to protect yourself other than just try and to block. You know, I mean, if you can't get the other person off of you because you don't have enough stamina or energy to do it, you know, you're going to wind up taking some shots. I mean,
yeah, she didn't say
that.
Her reason for not doing well was after the fight. She came out and said, "Well, I had an injury."
That's every other fighter. There's something wrong always.
Yeah.
And I forgot to turn the stove off. You know.
If you're in the fight game, you know, the fight game, it should be I'm a professional MMA fighter. You know, and a little asterisk to the side, I'm always hurt. Fuck it, don't even ask. Like
exactly.
That's like I've been doing interviews for crossroadsmma.com now, and the last thing I ever ask is, oh, do you fight injured? Because that's a stupid question. It really is. Of course you're fighting injured.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everyone's gonna have bumps and bruises and all that stuff. So, but what's crazy about what's her name with the knee injury? We were just talking about her.
Justine Kish.
Justine. When she was walking, it looked like she was struggling like a lot to put any pressure on that leg, you know. So it really sucks not to be able to see her fight, really does. But bringing back Tisha is the right decision. And speaking of is Randa Marcos, right?
Yeah.
Definitely what she did to Tisha in the second round with the beatdown was huge. But you just got to give Torres another chance. You know, yeah, the stamina thing, possible injury. You know, I don't know. I just want to see that. I just want to see her fight again. See what happens.
All right. So in that fight there, you said that you actually gave it to Tisha. What did you give her? The third round? You thought she actually won the third round?
I thought it was super close, man. I think it was going to be it ended up being a unanimous decision, right? No, sorry, the third round. So my bad. I don't know. I might just be too much of a Tisha fan, I guess. But to where I'm kind of sitting there. Hell, you know what? I'll say this right now. If Rose Namajunas goes to decision, I'm gonna give her all. I don't care how many rounds you gotta give her. Just give it to her because she should win every fight in my opinion. But that's because I'm just a fan of hers. But the same thing with Tisha. Maybe it was just that me just hoping she would win. And you know, like if you hope something bad enough, you know, even if you watch it, we'll see something completely different. That's kind of what it was, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, because I call that jaded. I get a bit jaded as well, where I'm watching the fight and I'm, you know, hoping for this one fighter, and I try not to, but every once in a while, I'll, you know, because we score the rounds live when we watch the events, and every once in a while, I'll, you know, go in the favor of the fighter that I'm going for, but I try not to do that. But you can't help it when you're a big fan of the fighter.
Hey man, for me, every Nick Diaz decision ever was a Nick Diaz win, even if he didn't actually get it. When he was fighting, when he fought GSP and shit, and it was just every fight he's ever lost by decision, I thought he won, and that's just again big Nick Diaz fan. So I mean, yeah, like you said, I probably get jaded quite a bit. If there's a fighter that I'm not a big huge fan of, that's when I'm pretty down the middle. Unbiased and all that, but if one of my favorite fighters is fighting, I usually just sit back and shut up and just hope he wins.
Yeah, we don't know for sure if Tisha Torres is the one that will be coming back, but more than likely because, she had the best fight up until episode 4. And clearly, I still think that first fight was the best fight out of the 4 fights so far. So being that she was the loser in the best fight of the 4 fights that happened so far this season, more than likely she will be the one coming back, because hard to look at any of the other 3 girls that lost and say, she deserves another shot.
Yeah. What do you guys think of? And I probably way missed the show on this one, but Lisa, was it Lisa Ellis?
Yeah.
Did you guys think she actually quit? Like, you think she just gave up? She gave up
I
bad?
I just think she just mentally wasn't there, and then once she got in there and started mixing it up, you could tell just like Dana said, man, she was looking for a way out.
Yeah, so because that's what it looked like to me. She just gave up so quickly. She didn't last long at all. It was a quick fight. But maybe she was scared of getting hurt or something.
Yeah, I think it
Or
was
maybe like
Fred.
you said. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I think it was Fred and I who were actually saying, "Wow, this is going to be just as good as the fight from Invicta FC1 that they had in 2012." And then when you watch the fight, you're like, "Oh man!"
Yeah. Everyone was talking about like how bloody it was gonna be, and it's gonna be on the ground or whatever. And then I think before the episode even came out, somehow I don't know if TUF did it or somebody else did, but they let out that Dana White quote of I think she was looking for a way out.
Yeah,
and that's when I knew. I was like, ah, shit, come on.
Yeah, I think Freddie even mentioned that on the pre-fight show that we did, but I think he wound up picking Lisa Ellis anyway. I don't recall, but yeah, to me, man, that was one of the big question marks there. Coming off of that layoff that she had, she did fight again after that fight that she lost, but and they kept saying on the show. I heard a couple of times that she hadn't fought since the first fight with Penny, but she did have another fight after that. So maybe it was the fact that she was fighting, Penny again, and she had that, mental block in her head that holy shit, she fucked me up bad last time,
Yeah, and then she was real focused on her daughter, the 1-year-old, and I mean, when I was watching that episode, I was sitting there going, ugh. Like I have a 2-year-old nephew, and it's hard for me to stay away from the kid for like a day or two. I'll start asking my sister, like, when are you going to bring the kid over, because he's just a fun kid. But, I couldn't imagine being away from your 1-year-old daughter for weeks. That'd be painful, especially for her mother.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. I mean, I don't have any kids. Always wanted kids, but I could imagine, because I have lots of nieces and nephews, because I came from a big family, and all my brothers and sisters have, a couple of children or more. So I do have lots of nieces and nephews, and man, I used to love being around them when they were little children. It was so entertaining. It was so joyful to be around them and watch them,
Yeah, no, they're a lot of fun. But what I keep saying, because obviously I'm Mexican. Obviously my Mexican parents and everything. They're always telling me, you get that little bit of pressure of when are you gonna have kids, when are you gonna have kids, and I'm like, I'm happy just borrowing one for now. I'm not trying to have any of my own yet. This kid's enough like me as it is. I mean, he's a big 2-year-old. Like, he's huge for 2 years old. So, and I mean, as far as strength goes, he's been knocking shit over, every time he comes over here. So, but yeah, no, as far as the kids go, me not yet. I'll borrow my nephew every once in a while, and then I'll give him back to his mom when he's crying.
Yeah. All right. So, any more comments on that fight? I do want to talk about one more thing about that episode. No. Okay.
Nope.
All right, next week they're going to be having Felice Herrig versus Heather Jo Clark. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the show, I don't know if you heard it, Eddie, but Heather Jo Clark is also having a problem with her knee, I believe. So, I wonder if they took advantage of that, knowing that she was having a problem with her knee and, made her fight next there. But it could also be that maybe she's the one that drops out there if she's got a knee problem as well. So, but because of the extent of the injury, like we both mentioned there, it does look like it's going to be Justine Kish. Go ahead, Damon. You had a comment?
I was going to say, I mean, it does seem like, when they show somebody that's really hurt or something, and then they say something like that, it tends to be not the person you think it's going to be that's going to leave the show. I think it's possible that it is going to be Heather Jo Clark, and I think maybe she's just open her mouth one too many times, and she's actually going to try and step out somehow.
That would be a bummer.
Yeah, because I kept saying, I was joking around with my friends, because I'll watch, a couple of my friends will come over every Wednesday night, we'll watch the episode, because they're cheap bastards, they won't buy their own cable. But they come over and they watch, and they're always talking shit. They don't like Heather Clark either, and I'm like, she's a girl, what are you going to expect? They're all getting annoying at some point, but if they're gonna hate on her, I kept saying, bet right now she gets the first win for Team Melendez. I bet right now. And she's going to just come out that she's going to knock somebody out, get up, fingers out, whatever, F all of you, and then just walk over to her corner or something. But,
Wow.
I mean, I thought she'd be the first one to get the win. The whole knee issue, I mean, she was rolling with Rose, and Rose, I don't know exactly what Rose did, but she kind of hyperextended her knee. And I think that's how she got hurt. I'm pretty sure that's what they said in the show. But yeah, I mean, who knows? It'd be crazy. Can you imagine that Tisha comes back, steps in against Rose? We get Rose, Tisha too. That'd be fun.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I like Rose in this too. As she seems like, you know, a pretty tough girl as well. And Ronda Rousey and DFW. I don't know if DFW was referring to Rose in this instance, but DFW said there's definitely a girl on the show who's the next Ronda Rousey, and Ronda Rousey said that, you know, in her opinion, that Rose is the next Ronda Rousey.
It's possible. Rose does have that flying armbar in Invicta that I flipped the fuck out watching. Like, I watched that card live, and I forgot who she was fighting, but it was in the first like 15 seconds. This chick just grabs Rose by the neck, and Rose just throws a flying armbar on her and taps her out. It was crazy. Yeah, you also saw on the side right there, you saw Pat Barry losing his fucking mind cage side. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I did see that. That was awesome. Okay, so who do you guys think there? Do you think it's going to be Heather, or is it going to be Felice that gets the win?
Heather Clark.
Really?
Yeah, I think I know Felice won the first fight that they had, but it was split decision, and as we know, the split decisions, you know, they almost literally flip a coin to find out who won. So I think Heather Clark takes this opportunity to let out all this frustration, prove all her teammates wrong, and, you know, kind of, you know, give the middle finger to her own team and say, hey, all right, I won this one. What are you guys gonna do now?
Well. Okay, well, I'm going the other way. I'm going to say Felice gets it because I watched Felice. I don't know if you guys watched the progression of her physique over the last year as she was preparing for the TUF show. But damn, I mean, she went from looking like, you know, a fairly lean, not too muscular girl to a badass, ripped-looking machine. You know.
Yeah, definitely. She's been getting into crazy. Sorry, go ahead. I keep jumping on her.
Yeah. But how much will that play into her stamina too, though? I mean, it doesn't usually do too much for the lighter weights, but you know, I'm picking Felice as well. I like Felice, and this one's a hard pick, so I do hope she kind of shuts Heather Jo Clark's mouth.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing with Felice though, a lot of people hate her. Like, she keeps showing her butt. I'm like, wait a minute, you're complaining a chick showing her butt on national television?
I mean, if she had an ugly ass, that would be one thing, but
yeah, there was like,
we know that's not the case.
If it looked like a fucking golf ball with the dimples in it, like all over the place, it'd be gross. But at the same time, you know, it's a chick that's super in shape. She's clearly getting in better shape because she's ripped as shit. But I think it's gonna help her with everything because she's not gonna have to cut that much weight. I mean, during the show, she talks about eating right. When she was helping Carla, you know, make that weight or whatever, she was talking about how you know, maybe you should just eat healthy all the time or whatever. They were talking about eating habits, but yeah, Felice looks like she'll be good to go with the weight, so I think it'll be a plus. But yeah, she definitely works out hard, clearly.
Yeah, and I know she's got a sponsor that you know, pre-packages all of her meals and everything. I don't remember the name of the company. But, you know, she clearly watches everything she eats. She doesn't, you know, she has cheat days like most fighters who are watching their weight where, you know, as long as she's not fighting, maybe she'll cheat and, you know, have a soda or an ice cream or something like that. But, yeah, she's pretty strict on her diet, man. And it, you know, if you watch her training, because I follow her on Facebook and Twitter, and, man, she's dedicated, man, and the girl's got stamina.
Yeah, she's definitely... trained for this TUF. I mean, I didn't really watch a lot of the other girls, but I do follow Felice on Twitter and Facebook, like you said too, and even on Score. And she really put some time into this, and I hope it really shows come next Wednesday.
Oh, you got a Score account?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I didn't know that. And you're not following me. I'm insulted.
I started.
You're not an athlete.
I started one for Crossbones. I started it. I posted one thing and I completely forgot all about it. When there's new social media stuff, it's hard to get into it at first.
Yeah, and there's so much of it. It's like
Score is more about the athletes and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
It is called Score.
You know? Yeah, but I mean I think they kind of market it like, oh, get a closer look at your athletes, and I'm like, we have Twitter. Why the fuck do we need that? Like, you know,
I started my Score account specifically to cover the TUF shows because we're trying to do all the preview and recap shows, and I'm only using Score for that to try to help promote the season of TUF and some of the ladies because I know there are a lot of fans out there that are I don't know what their problem is. But, a lot of the guys don't like to see the ladies fight. I don't know why that is. So I'm doing my best to help try to promote it, but I do notice that a lot of guys are on there. They're already fans of women's MMA, so.
Yeah.
If you don't like women's MMA just because it's women fighting, check these ladies out. These ladies are some badass fighters.
Yeah, I think the thing with that, what I found, and maybe just because the people that I talk to, and when I talk to somebody that kind of like gives me like their opinion, but it's not back with anything, like they just don't like women fighting, and I'm just, my first thing is, what, are you afraid they're gonna kick your butt? Like, I mean, look, I'll tell you right now, if I get in a fight with Rose, she's gonna kick my ass. First of all, because I'm not gonna hit her because she's beautiful to me, but at the same time, she's a badass chick that can fight, and a lot of guys don't like women that are alpha chicks, I guess, or dominant girls. They're not gonna be submissive, and a lot of dudes, the ones that I found that don't like women's MMA are the ones that don't like girls that are not submissive, and it's really, really weird, and it's getting too much into the psychology of people, but. If you don't like women's MMA, I mean, it's cool. Just don't, you don't have to watch. Just
it's almost like
every other day.
It's almost like, they're chauvinist pigs because they don't like women because they want to be the alpha dog no matter what, and women weren't meant to be dominated. They're meant to be the equal,
Yeah, and it's a lot to do with your point of view on just, completely different issues other than fighting, what you think is the role of women and all that. But, I mean, I like to think I'm a little, I like to have an equal relationship with women, so. That kind of works out. Except it's funny though, because it goes like this. And, when you're like, I just broke up with my girlfriend not too long ago, so I guess she's my ex-girlfriend now. But she had this thing where she's like, we're equal. I want to do the same things you do and all this stuff. But when it came to paying bills, wasn't it my thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I always say to her. I always told her, I was like, hey, that phone bill's due in a couple of weeks, right? Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, well, we're equal, right? No, you got to pay that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I know. I think all men go through that. Women want to be equal until it comes time to share the bills and a couple of other things as well. Because I've run through that as well, where you're in a relationship with a woman, and what's yours is hers, and what's ours is hers, but what's hers is not yours.
I tell you what, when I broke up with her, she was not happy that she had to move all her shit out on her own. I wasn't gonna do it. She was upset. I didn't care. I was like, call your brother. I don't give a shit. I don't. We're done. But yeah, we're off topic like a motherfucker right now.
Yeah, I was going to say the other guys apparently aren't going to be joining us here. Like I said in the beginning of the show, we were stalling in the beginning to try to drag the show out so they could join us, but I guess they're not going to make it. We were actually going to do another show, not really a prediction show, but we're just going to really talk about the two events this weekend in the UFC. You want to hang around, and what we'll do is we'll terminate this show here, and then we'll start another one up in a few minutes?
Hell yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay, cool.
I was going to make me something to eat. I'm hungry.
All right, well, we can take a little break. I'm kind of hungry myself as well. All right, so what we'll do is we'll wrap this one up. Go over to the site, Eddie, and we'll put the information in that thread there as to when we're going to start the next show. But again, congrats to Carla Esparza, rear naked choke in round one. Congrats on that win there. You look great, and you look like you hadn't missed a beat, and you weren't out for a year and a half as you were.
Yeah, he's easily the scariest chick, and not scary as in raw, but like scary as I'm gonna fuck you up in this cage. You're getting here with me. I dare you. That kind of chick. Like she's easily number one. She should be. Is she number one ranked? She is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, she deserves it. Completely deserves it.
And she's so sweet too, because when you hear her talk and everything, it's like, wow, what a nice girl, you know.
Have you talked to her?
No, I haven't spoken to her, but you know, just
okay.
when you see her on interviews and things like that, you know.
She calls herself the Cookie Monster, man. How can you not, you know, find that adorable at some level?
All right, fellas, let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. I appreciate you guys showing up to talk about this one here. Tune in next week to watch Felice Herrig versus Heather Jo Clark. Hopefully that'll go down, and Heather Jo Clark isn't the individual that has the knee problem. So I do want to see that rematch there, because I do think Felice will get a TKO in 2.
Ooh, Heather Jo Clark in decision, my friend. That's what it's gonna be.
Okay. And David?
I'm gonna go with Felice by decision.
By decision? Okay. Well, we're all over the place on that one, but I love it when we're like that. All right, guys. We'll get together in a few more minutes here, and we'll do the other show that we're talking about. Thanks to everybody for listening there. If you want to join us on the show sometime, head on over to MMA Chat and create an account there. Let us know you want to join us, and we'll be more than happy to get you on one of the shows. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and say goodbye. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
See you guys.